Good afternoon, y'all. It is, what day is this? It is Tuesday, July the 2nd. Today I'm going to be making Cornish pasties. The first time I made them was in June of '86. And my husband and I and our oldest daughter went to Opryland up there in Nashville, Tennessee, for a weekend kind of thing. And I made Cornish pasties because we couldn't afford to go out to eat. So I packed all our food, put it in a cooler, we bought ice and everything, and that's what we ate, was out of that cooler, milk and cereal and the Cornish pasties, and there wasn't even a microwave in the room, so we just had to eat them, cold, and they were still good. So the Cornish pasty is a fond memory for me. So we'll get started. The recipe calls for a pound of ground round or chuck minced, 2 cups of diced pared potatoes, 1½ cups of chopped onion, 1 tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce, 2 teaspoons of salt, 1/8 of a teaspoon of pepper, and 1 egg beaten. I don't have the Worcestershire sauce, so I'm just going to leave it out. It, probably tastes really good with that in there. Although I think maybe I've got some horseradish, some creamed horseradish. I could put that in there. That would really be good. Okay, let me get my things together. Okay, I washed these potatoes. It wasn't really necessary because I'm going to peel them and wash them anyway, but the outsides of them were dirty, leaving a little grit on my counter. Now I would use my little handy dandy peelers, but I have them in the dishwasher right now, so I'm just going to peel them with my little peeling knife here. And I am not going to film the whole thing. Everybody knows how to peel a potato and get all those little bad places off. Okay, I just sliced the potatoes about, I don't know, 1/4 of an inch thick. And here's a little tip for you I learned from my sister. Take the top of a plastic can of coffee and use it as a little cutting board. So I'm going to cut these potatoes, and they're kind of slick. This is a quick and easy way to do it. And old habits die hard. I usually just hold the foods in my hand and cut them up and everything. And I think I can do it just as fast with my hand. And you just want to dice them up. Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to need 2 cups. So I'll get these cut up and I'll be back. Okay, I've got 2 cups of diced potatoes. And now I need 1½ cups of chopped onion. And I have a note on here. Add more onions. And my rating for this recipe is very good. And I'll serve it with cream of mushroom soup on top of it. Which makes a nice dinner. You can serve it with something green like vegetable, broccoli, asparagus, Brussels sprouts, green beans, coleslaw, and then something. You don't need potatoes, you don't need bread because it's going to be in a pastry crust. Or you could serve it just with a green salad or some fruit, because it's a complete meal like it is. Okay, let me get the onions done. Okay, I have 2 cups of onions, or maybe 3/4 of a cup. I used 1 onion, and it was not quite, it was about a 1/2 cup. And I thought, well, I have a note that I need to add more onions. And then I remembered I had a 1/2 of an onion in the refrigerator. So I used that. So 1½ onions got me almost 2 cups of onions, of diced onions. And I used 3 potatoes for the 2 cups of diced potatoes. Okay, now combine the beef, potatoes, onion, Worcestershire. Okay, get my meat. I set it inside the microwave here. I'm using 80 lean, 20% fat. You can use whatever you want, but this is what I have. You kind of mix those onions and potatoes around. Okay. Take this meat. And I'm sure the Worcestershire would taste really, I know it tastes good in here. But since I don't have it, I need something with a strong flavor, and horseradish fits that bill. So I'll put that in there. And get all this kind of broken up real good. Then I will salt and pepper it. And, you know, that's all the spices it has in here. And that's all I've ever used. Being the spice queen, I think I could have put something else in there, but I never did. Okay, I'm going to rinse my hands. Alright, now, how much horseradish? It calls for a tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce, so I'll use maybe a tablespoon. Will that fit in there? Yeah, that fits. I'll just put a heaping amount of horseradish in there. This is prepared horseradish. And I always have trouble when I go to the store when I've run out, and I'm trying to remember what aisle it's in. Okay, salt and pepper. I'm going to go a little heavy on the salt because there are potatoes in here and the beef. And of course you could put onion powder, you could put garlic powder, you know, whatever you want. That's the nice thing about cooking things at home. You can put whatever you want, but I think I will put some dried parsley in there. Okay. Okay, I'm going to mix this up. Okay, now I am going to make the pastry. It calls for 3 cups of flour, 1½ teaspoons of salt, a cup of lard, which I don't have lard. I'm just going to use Crisco shortening. Let's see here. 2 cups. 1 cup. Okay, now I got 3 cups of flour. I'm going to cut in with my pastry cutter. The shortening. And I do keep my shortening in the refrigerator. It's a convenient place to keep it, and it stays cool or cold for when I want to make pastries. Okay, and then I need 1½ teaspoons of salt. Okay. Now I will cut this in. And cut it in till it's, you know, pea size of a pea. Okay, I've cut all that shortening in. You can see it's just small, like the size of a pea. Then it calls for 4 to 5 tablespoons of flour. My freezer doesn't work that well, so I can't freeze ice. So I just keep a little jar of water in the refrigerator for when I need cold water for pastry. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, let's start out with that and see how that does. You know, I'm in the mid-south, and so it can be humid here. Dew point can be high, so I may or may not need the extra water, or I may need more. It just depends. So I'm trying to work quickly, getting it together, kind of pulling it from the bottom and the sides and kind of squeezing it a little bit. And I can feel that it needs some more water. Ah, little girl. She's trying to reach for my flour. Okay. It's coming together pretty good. I think it might need just a touch more water. Okay, I'll go for tablespoon number 6. You know, you get too much water, your pastry is going to be tough, hard. Okay, I think 6 tablespoons will do it. Okay, let me go around the bowl, getting what's around the side. Get it into a ball. Okay, bowl comes out pretty clean. Alright, now I'm going to need to spread my flour out, but I'm going to make sure my counter. Little girl, you're not getting anything. Make sure it's dry. And quite honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if she jumps up here in the middle of me cooking. Oh, all right. Flour and sprinkle this out. Now, this dough needs to be in 6 equal portions. Okay, I'm going to cut it in half. And then make this into 3 equal portions as best I can. Do the same with this one. I think the end pieces are going to be a little smaller, but that's all right. Now, I'll roll this out and put the filling in there. And it might be a little bit dry, but I'm going to make it work because I'm not getting out more flour and shortening to make more pastry. Let me get my rolling pin. Alright. It says to roll it out into a 7-inch circle. Now, you take some of your filling and put it on one side of the pastry. And yes, the meat goes in there raw. Okay. Fold it over. I'm going to have to borrow some pastry from somebody to fill up this little hole here. Okay. I'm going to close up the gap. And when I've made these in the past, they have spilled out, but it certainly doesn't ruin the taste. They're still good. Okay. Let's see, who can I borrow a little pastry from? This one. think of it as a patchwork quilt. Yeah, that'll do. Let me get it just a little wet. I get it wet, then it'll stick better. Oh, it's just coming apart all around. Oh well. Okay. And let me use a fork. Gotta give it a little edge. Try to be a little bit decorative. Not necessary, but you know, when it looks good, it's more appetizing. Okay, there's a little hole. Okay, what does it say? Place some meat mixture in, press edges, cut slits in the top of each. Okay. I'll just do 1, 2, 3. Okay, I am going to do the rest of these, and I'll be back after I get them done. Okay, I've got 2 on this ungreased foil lined piece of, it's from my air fryer. The rest of the pieces are in the dishwasher. So I'm going to brush these 2 with egg wash, and 1 egg with maybe a tablespoon of water. And I'm going to bake them in the air fryer. The other ones I am going to bake in my regular oven. Just see how they do. Now, you know, you could always change this up. You could put this, make it like a pie. Get your 2 pie crust, either store-bought or make your own, and put the meat mixture in between 2 pie crust, bake it that way. And I think that I probably should have used more of Crisco shortening. I think that's why it was a little bit dry, why it's cracking, because I didn't have enough shortening in there. Because when you use lard, I think you don't have to use as much lard. I'll have to Google that and see, because I know there's a difference between the 2. Okay, I'm going to put these in the air fryer. I'm going to go ahead and make the other ones, put them in the oven, and we'll see how they turn out. Okay, I finished the other ones. I got 4 there. Brushed them with egg, and I did not cut any of the pastry off. I have found that some people like a lot of pastry on their pies or Cornish pies, and I'm one of those. I'll go for the one that has the most crust, so I never cut the crust off. And when I was making pies, when all my family was at home, I would make one side of the pie a little thicker with the crust, because that's the part I liked, and made it a little thinner on the other side for my family members that didn't care about the crust. So I'm going to put these in the oven. Okay, now I had some of this meat mixture left, and I think the reason I did was because my pastry was on the dry side. It wasn't as pliable as I wanted it to be. So I didn't get to roll it out. Some of them were kind of small, some of them were big. So I had this left. Well, of course I'm not going to waste it. So I thought, I'll just make a kind of a pie out of it. I buttered this metal pie plate. I'm going to put this mixture in here. Okay. And I am going to make, I don't know, cornbread pie or meat pie with cornbread topping on it. I don't know. I'm just going to mix it up. And I'm going to mix the cornbread. I'm going to use milk instead of buttermilk because I want it to be on the runny side. So let me get a fork here. I had one. Here it is. I got a real mess to clean up here, but that's all right. Okay. Got 1 egg, some cornmeal. I don't know, I don't even think it's a cup, maybe between a half a cup and 3/4 of a cup. And just stir that around. And I'll just bake this in the oven and see how it turns out. I mean, how bad can it be? It's got cornbread on it. Okay, let me just pour it on top. And get that distributed kind of evenly. Okay. I'm gonna have to, I gotta cook it. My cooking time's gonna be kind of long, so I guess I'll put this in the refrigerator and put it in the air fryer in a little bit. Okay, everything is done. First thing I'm gonna try out is this meat mixture with the cornbread. Slice it through real nice and just get a small piece here. I'll just cut it like a pie. Well, it still left some in there. Okay, I've got a little bit of cream of mushroom soup here. I'll try it with this. You know, I could have put I don't know, some kind of Mexican seasoning or chili powder or something. Okay, let's see how that is. Well, it's not fantastic, but it tastes okay. I could make a meal out of it. I wouldn't starve. Okay, now for the star of the show. me just get a small one here. I'm going to show it to you. There's the bottom. And they just came off real easy off of that foil. It said put them on an ungreased pan. And I just put it on the foil to keep the pan clean. But you get your spatula under there and it comes off real nice. Okay, let me cut this in half. See, there you go. Turn this kind of dark in here. There you go. Let me hold another one up. Maybe I can make a thumbnail. Okay. Now, let me put on a little cream of mushroom soup. You know, you can make your own cream of mushroom soup or just get a can of cream of mushroom. That's what I've done. And I didn't put any water in it. I just heated it up straight out of the can. Alright, let me take a bite here. Let's see how this is. It's as good as I remember. That horseradish that I put in there, you don't taste it and go, ugh, it's got horseradish in it. It's got a nice flavor. So if I don't have Worcestershire, then I can substitute the horseradish. And I did look up the substituting shortening for lard. You can substitute them in equal amounts. You know, a cup of lard equals a cup of shortening. But I did find a couple of places that said to add 2 tablespoons of shortening to the 1 cup. And I think I'll do that next time. I think it would make the crust a little more pliable. And so that's it. I think I'll bless my sister with some of this Cornish meat pie. She might could have it for dinner. And I also plan on in the future, in the next month or so, making these Cornish meat pies in a vegan version so I can share them with my daughter. The crust is just naturally vegan because it's got vegetable shortening in it. And then, you know, onions and potatoes are vegan. And then I'll use plant-based meat crumbles in them. And I'm thinking Worcestershire sauce is not vegan. I'll have to ask her about that. So if that's so, I can just put the horseradish in there. And there is a mushroom gravy, a Campbell's. It's mushroom gravy that is vegan. So I'll probably buy some fresh mushrooms and cook them and, you know, have them as a side or mix it with the gravy or something. But it makes a nice dinner. You know, serve it with a tossed salad or a fruit salad. And, you know, it'd be great to take to work. It would be mighty fine for that. So, y'all have a good afternoon, a good evening, and please remember to be kind to someone. Someone needs your kindness today. Bye.